Hello folks, it's Anahita Rao, and today I wanted to discuss a very important topic actually, and it often gets overlooked because we get so caught up in what's in the birth chart and why it's there, and rather than thinking about what to do about it. So of course the essence of Jyotish is to identify the karmic points in your birth chart and perhaps your purpose and your spiritual path. But also one of the essential tools that Jyotish gives us is how to remedy this karma so that it is manageable and so that your goals are achievable. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to speak about each planet and the remedial measures for them individually. But first I want to cover some very general points about remedies and what they mean. So this info is going to be repeated in the earlier few minutes of each video. Okay, so let's get started with that. Yeah. Okay, so the first thing to keep in mind with remedies is that you need discipline, which means you need to be regular. You need to have a sustainable spiritual practice so that you can be regular. This could include a pranayama practice for a few minutes daily. It could include daily concentrated meditation technique that you have. It can include mantra japa. It could include yoga daily or a few times a week. Fasting is another great practice. The energy that the body puts into digestion is then reverted to healing. So if your body is healing, you can be sure that your thoughts are as well. Mantras are very effective, but this depends on your chart. If, for example, you have a poor fifth house or fifth lord, then it may or may not work for you. But nonetheless, regardless of that, you can always benefit from doing mantra chanting for your ascendant lord, nonetheless. Seva, I find, is the best remedy for any issue. It could be volunteer work, it could be giving donation, but if you're only giving donation and not doing something else, you may not see much difference. Because unless you're involved in a regular practice, then the shift inside of you doesn't take place. Yeah, so it's very important to have something in conjunction with seva. With donation especially. You may feel good for a few minutes when you make that donation, but that's about it. I don't feel that the internal shift will take place. Certainly not to a degree that it will be a stabilizing shift or a staying shift. So it might be something that you notice that changes, but it will be very transient and temporary. So if you're just doing donation, then you might want to supplement it with other practices. I've actually devoted a page on my website with ideas for donation connected to each and every planet. So have a look at that. It's basically anahitarao.com. These are merely ideas. I don't have any affiliation with these organizations that are mentioned there, but so just for you to get an idea of what the possibilities are out there. I'm not really a big advocate of gemstones unless they come from a very reliable source. And even then, you have to know how to energize them properly before wearing them and before expecting any sort of impact. If you are into gemstones, then I can recommend a good book which speaks about the healing powers of gemstones, and that's by Harish Johari. Now, there's two schools of thoughts when it comes to gemstones. One is use the natural malefic stones if they rule good houses, and the other is only use the natural benefics ruling good houses. My suggestion would initially be to play it safe and go with the second school of thought. So, for instance, if you're a Leo lagna, don't use the red coral, even though Mars is your yoga karaka planet, because it's a natural malefic. Instead, use the yellow sapphire, because Jupiter is benefic and it rules your fifth house. So when you wear a stone in your right hand, this is ruled by Jupiter, so it will increase the stone's good energy. The left hand is ruled by Venus, and it decreases energy. So if you're wearing for Saturn during Saturn's dasha, for example, then you might want to do it on the left hand to decrease Saturn's impact, perhaps. As I said, however, gemstone is not the remedy that I would recommend, because for a remedy to be really effective, you must participate in the action, because in this way you will be burning off the old karma. Right? Because karma in itself is action, so you need action to burn that off. So the karma that is standing in the way basically creates an obstacle for anything that we desire in life. It gets into the mind, body, and soul. And if you're involved actively in something to remedy that, then you are feeling the effects on all of those levels. To combat it. If you wear a gemstone, then again do so in conjunction with another remedy, such as kriya, such as fasting, such as mantra japa on a daily basis, and of course seva is fantastic, and so is donation. Yeah. So let's get started with the planets. Okay, so let's talk about the moon. Like I said, the sun and the moon are very, very important, and they need to be functioning really well in your chart for you to get results from other planets. Why is that? What exactly is the moon? The moon is our mind. It's our thoughts, our emotions. So, naturally, it's very important to make sure that this planet is in good shape. This is especially the case if you've got Rahu or Ketu forming a close aspect or a conjunction to the moon, because this shadow planet will obstruct the thinking. Yeah. The mind could become paranoid and overreact to situations and people. People that have these conjunctions should be especially watchful of the company they keep, whether it's in real life or on social media, because the mind can be easily swayed by that, which is a complete illusion. Easy for those with afflicted moon to also be a little bit obsessive and compulsive in relationships. And again, I'm talking about affliction due to the nodes. Conjunctions of the moon and Saturn. That is known as Vish Yoga. This person tends to think too much. They overanalyze. They tend to imagine the worst case scenario, so they're a bit pessimistic. They're always looking for flaws. They can also be very negative. Moon with Venus can make one too sensitive and needy in relationships. So if they don't get the attention from the person that they're with, they'll either ditch the relationship or look elsewhere for that attention. Now, Moon gets exalted in Taurus. And Taurus is what? The second house. So to strengthen the moon, we can look at activities related to the natural second house. What are some of those? So have warm and long baths. Because again, we're talking about moon, which is a watery planet. And that's very helpful for strengthening the moon. Get facials and massages. Wear perfume. Listen to soothing music. Get enough sleep. Get into painting or artistic activity. Spend time in nature. Gardening would be a great activity. Prepare home-cooked meals. Connect with your family, especially your mother, because that's a karaka for the moon. I would say also drink lots and lots of water. Meditate every day, at least 1 week before and 1 week after a lunar or solar eclipse, because the moon is directly impacted by eclipses. If you're feeling depressed, then have a good cry, because again, we're talking about tears shedding, which is water, which is what the moon is. Do physical exercise. Share your thoughts and feelings with others. If not, you can always journal them. Spend time with your children and your pets, which is excellent for the moon, and just it enhances the emotions. It's also very nourishing. Yoga and pranayama is great. Afflictions to the moon, you can get involved in any kind of community event, because again, you're connecting with others. Donate to battered mothers or single mothers. Help those with depression or any sort of mental disturbances. Om Namah Shivaya is the best mantra to chant to remedy any moon afflictions, especially if you have an isolated moon in your chart. Any Shiva mantra will do. I hope you guys found that helpful. Feel free to comment and please subscribe below. Thank you, folks.